Most design firms think that they're in the design business, but I don't think they are. They're actually in the decision enabling, decision making, and decision management business. And over the next decade, the firms that figure it out first will have the unfair advantage. It's not going to be because they'll have better designers, but they'll have better systems and better processes to help make these decisions, to enable them, to make them, to manage them, to ensure that they don't change. Because let's start with an uncomfortable reality for a minute. Demand for professional services is clearly growing and is going to continue to grow over the next decade. Client expectations, however, are also growing. Project complexity is growing, and most firms are still operating with systems that were designed for a much smaller business, and that creates a dangerous problem and illusion, right? Revenue is increasing, great. Headcount is increasing, stress is increasing, but profitability and margin, they're not. The firms that dominate the next decade are not going to necessarily be the biggest firms. They're going to be the firms that can handle this complexity without creating chaos. Because that's what scale really is. Scale is not more project, it's not more employees, it's not a bigger office. Scale is the ability to increase output without increasing friction. And most firms underestimate how difficult that is. That's why I believe that design firms of the future are going to look much more like a tech company rather than a traditional creative studio. And not because everyone will learn how to code, but because technology companies understand something very critical, which creative firms tend to ignore, that every important process is documented and evolved, right? Every important process is measured, it's improved, it's repeated, like I said, evolved. The goal is not to add bureaucracy. The goal is to add consistency, because consistency creates predictability, and predictability creates ultimately trust. Think about where projects actually fail. Rarely do they fail because somebody forgot how to do designs. That doesn't really happen. Projects fail when information is missing, siloed, decisions are delayed, communication breaks down, somebody forgets to tell somebody something, responsibilities aren't clear, or nobody noticed a problem early enough. They're not design failures, they're operational failures. And operational failures, thankfully, are predictable, which means they're fixable. This is where I think the biggest opportunity exists. It's not designing faster, it's not hiring more people. It's about building systems and processes that make excellence repeatable. Because excellence, once it becomes repeatable, then growth becomes so much more easier. See, everyone is asking today, how can AI help us design faster? But that's not the critical question. The critical question is, how can my business scale with the new challenges that AI and general trends are throwing, right? How can I retool and rebuild my operations and processes to be repeatable and evolvable and measurable? Because let's be honest, most designers did not become designers because they enjoy filling in spreadsheets, right? Chasing quotations, following up on suppliers, sending reminder emails, or searching for the latest drawing revision. That's not where value is created. Imagine a project where every team member knows exactly what they're responsible for, what's expected of them, and every client knows the current project status as well as the expectation from them, payment or decision or whatever. Every supplier update, it appears automatically. Every drawing revision is tracked. No pending decisions are pending for long. Basically, every pending decision is visible. Nobody needs to ask, where are we? Because everyone already knows. That's not automation, by the way. That's operational clarity. And clarity is what scales. And this is why I think the data becomes the most valuable asset within a design firm, decision firm. Not financial data, operational data. What projects consistently finish late? What suppliers repeatedly delay procurement? What suppliers change prices at the last second? What project stages generate the most revisions? What meetings create the most decisions? If we don't measure these things, we can't improve them. The future firm is not going to run on opinions, it's going to run on evidence. And that's something that I believe is going to become increasingly important. The firms that grow fastest won't necessarily scale or hire because of hiring the most people, right? Because of getting the most headcount. But they'll build an environment where every person can do the work of two, not by working longer hours, not by putting in more pressure, but because every unnecessary task has been removed. And that's a completely different philosophy of growth. Growth through leverage, not through exhaustion. So, where does this all lead? I don't think we're building a design firm anymore. I think we're building an operating system that underlies a company which is delivering exceptional design by managing decisions, by managing operations, by building scalable processes. It's a place where talented people are spending more time thinking and less time chasing information, where clients feel more informed rather than anxious, where great ideas don't depend on one individual's heroic efforts. They emerge from a great comprehensive system. Because ultimately, the ambition is not to become the biggest firm, it's to become the firm that proves that creativity and operational excellence, they're not competing with each other, right? They multiply each other. And that's what the next decade demands. We didn't build Immaculate platform just to help you manage projects. We built it from the ground up to address the upcoming trends and the upcoming challenges of the next decade. We wanted to be the operating system for the next decade of interior design. Our workflows are engineered to keep your firm nimble, flexible, and completely bulletproof against the shifting market, consumer sentiment, consumer dynamics, and the changes that are happening. Because we try to reduce the friction so that you can focus on the client. You have to stop chasing information and start driving decisions. Sign up for a trial today at immaculate.co.in/trial. Thank you.